Hey guys, Chelsea from Attention to Details, and today we have a Honda Civic in for an interior only, and this one is going to be a doozy. I actually last saw this vehicle back in 2020, and the customer, when she dropped it off, was almost in tears because she said she has been waiting for me to do this interior. Let me show you what's going on and explain why she was so excited for me to do this today. So like I said, we last saw this in 2020. Plastics need a really good cleaning. Our carpets, she actually is replacing the mat, so we don't have to worry about that today. And there's not much I can do to repair the hole in the carpet. Good old Honda with their impossible carpet. The seats are really where we're going to be addressing a majority of our efforts today. You can see we've got a lot of staining on them. We're going to be using the mighty heated extractor for today's project. It's going to give us a little bit better deep cleaning results. Back here, our carpets and mats are not too terribly bad. They just need a good rinse. But like I said, our seats are really where we're going to be focusing on for the majority of our time. So again, a full day's work for just an interior. But this is where the customer was so excited about having this area dressed because she had a dog that actually pooped on this seat, and I don't normally work a lot with body or fecal matter. It's not something that I'm really looking forward to. We're actually, before we do anything, we're going to kind of hit that with an enzymatic cleaner from Royal Reflections, their biohazard aftermath, just to kind of help break down some of the bacteria on it. The vehicle kind of has a funky smell to it, but because I last saw this in 2020 and we actually did shampoo the seats then, they get rapidly resoiled. So because we're trying to, one, clean and also conserve, we're going to be testing out Koch Chemie, their Pol Star. And hopefully I said that right. We're just going to call it KC for short. But this is their Pol Star. You can see it is a textile, leather, and alcantara cleaner. And when you read the back description, it says, effective neutral cleaner with protection formula. Cleans and protects without leaving watermarks and protects the parts against becoming dirty again quickly. Areas of use, leather, alcantara, and textiles. So we're going to actually extract it. I want to see what kind of cleaning capabilities it has. And then because this is a regular customer, hopefully we're not going to see as much soiling on these seats when she brings it back. But being that this is that funky suede material that if you were to spill water on it, it kind of just sets in and leaves a clean ripple. We want to get as much of that soiling out of these seats as possible. Normally I would use kind of a professional carpet cleaning solution that has like a citrus hydrogen peroxide base. So this is going to be a new test, a new product to test out. We are going to do it at the 1:5 dilution ratio, but let's go ahead, get everything vacuumed, and then we'll show you how this product works on all of our upholstery and carpets. So we'll be back in a jiffy. Before we get started, first we're going to let this sit. Work it in a little bit. Give it some time to kind of soak in. This is our Aftermath Biohazard Cleaner. This is for, you can see feces right there. That's what we're dealing with. I just got one of my crappy brushes. You can see it does a great job of just going to town, kind of loosening it up. So that way, when we come in with our extractor, I've already kind of broken down all that nastiness. You can see just how quickly it is working. Stuff is really, really good, and it smells amazing. If you got like really nasty soiling that you're working with, this is a great option to have in your arsenal. This is one that I continuously reach for when I've got smoke odor smells, urine, or anything like that. So all of our spots have been pre-treated. Even if that air dries, it's not going to affect it, because when we do our hot water extraction, it'll pull up all of that residue. But we're going to get going on our vacuuming.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
All right, we're all done with our vacuum. We have our fecal matter pre-soaked, and you can see it's already a big improvement. Can't even really see it, but we're still going to extract it. So here's our before. we do our hot water extraction. We're gonna do fronts and backs of all of our seats. So we've got our mighty heated extractor pump primed and our water is heating up. While we give that 2 to 3 minutes to heat up, we're gonna go ahead and get our solution mixed up. Now this is the Pol Star, again, textile leather and alcantara cleaner. Now, the reason why I think this product is going to come in handy, this is kind of that suede-like material that a lot of alcantara is very similar to, and it's extremely prone to wicking or rapid resoiling. And so I think a product like this is really going to come in handy just because of, one, the ability to clean, and two, help protect it from that rapid resoiling. We've got our Poly Spray 2-pump sprayer from Car Supply's warehouse. This is new for me. Been really enjoying it lately, especially I don't have the hand fatigue like I normally would when I'm using a lot of chemicals and having to spray. Our 1:5 dilution ratio. You can see we've got our water in there. We're going to fill up the rest with our chemical. With a little bit of a measuring gauge is convenient, especially for me where I don't really have to do a lot of thinking. We're going to get this pumped up and we are ready to go. So because our seats and carpets are so heavily soiled, we're going to go pretty heavy with our cleaning solution. The P21 2-pump sprayer did a really nice job of just quickly laying that down so that I didn't have to spend time or energy putting the chemical down. I've been using it a lot for door jambs and tires and wheel wells and thought that this would be a very quick and effective way, and it did a great job. Our agitation step is critical for us being able to, one, kind of break down a lot of the soiling in our carpets, give us that foaming agency to kind of emulsify any of the deeper soiling within our seats. You're going to be able to tell just how deep cleaning your results you're going to get with your agitation step alone. Sometimes that might be all you need for a lightly soiled vehicle. You can just mop up with a microfiber. But because our soiling is so deep and the type of fabric that we have here that is so prone to wicking, we're doing our extraction. Now, I have the Aqua Provac, which is a cold water extraction, and we also have the Mighty Light. And a lot of you have commented on my channel that I haven't used the Mighty Light a lot. I do use it. I reserve it more for heavily soiled vehicles where I'm needing that hot water and a little bit extra lift, and also just the ability for the carpets and seats to dry quicker. Hot water is going to allow your materials to dry a lot faster than cold water. Although I can put hot water in the Aqua Provac, I find that this gives me better deep cleaning results. The only thing that I struggle sometimes with the Mighty Heated Extractor is that the head can be a little bulky. It's not as maneuverable as my Aqua Provac, but in situations like this, I'm going to take whatever disadvantage I have with the bulky head because it's going to give me the advantage of deeper cleaning results. I'm not going to show a lot of me doing the carpets. It was pretty straightforward. Spray with solution, agitate, extract. They were pretty bad, but they cleaned up really nicely with the Mighty. Now, our seatbelts, I'm going to show you. This is the Gator seatbelt brush. I picked this up over at McKee's 37. I'm going to put the link for it down below. But this is a great, nifty little tool to have if you are dealing with, especially a smoked-in vehicle that has nicotine staining, or just seatbelts in general. This is a great way to clean both sides of the seatbelt quickly and give you better cleaning results. And I'm going to show you a trick in a second when it comes to really badly stained seatbelts. These seatbelts were almost orange from nicotine staining, and I'd actually cleaned them last year and struggled with the same exact thing. But I'm going to show you a little magic trick here as well. You can see that as soon as I hit some of these stains with our cleaning solution, it reactivated the old soiling. This is why I hate this kind of fabric. It records every spill you have ever made for all time. Seatbelts, it is wicking so bad. Oh, we've got a day ahead of us. So I see a lot of vehicles within a year, and sometimes it's hard to remember every vehicle, what I encountered. As I was working on this back seat, I remembered that this was the vehicle that the previous owner had heavily smoked in it. And you can see the bottom of our seatbelts, the fabric is practically orange. And when you're working with seatbelts or even this suede type material, with nicotine staining, you're going to battle a lot of wicking. And what I really was impressed with this solution is that, one, it deep cleaned really well. I had to do a lot of extraction to try to avoid that moving forward, but I didn't have any sort of severe wicking. Our seatbelts, I actually did extract. I sprayed with our cleaner, agitated with my brush, and as much as I could, I actually extracted. And I found that it did a fantastic job of going after any of that deeper staining. But when I was done extracting, I have a little trick that sometimes can help prevent wicking from the material of the seatbelt, because as things dry, the soiling is going to be actually lifted with the water as it kind of rises to the surface, and it's going to wick severely. And with this type of fabric, it actually spreads onto your suede because it's so sensitive to resoiling. And so I'll actually take a microfiber and kind of encase the seatbelt fabric with that to try to help, as it's drying, prevent that transfer of soiling to our suede material. We had a lot of soiling on our microfiber afterwards, but I didn't have it on the seat. So that's one trick. For those of you that are battling a situation, you can see here where I kind of wrapped it around it. It's just a thin, low DSM crappy one that I have from Walmart, but it does a great job of helping to prevent that transfer of resoiling. So if you recall, these were our seats that we pre-treated with the Royal Reflections Aftermath Biohazard Cleaner, and now we're spraying our Pol Star. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, that's a lot of cleaning solution, that's a lot of residue that she's going to kind of be battling. A lot of times, if you use too much of a cleaning solution and you don't remove it thoroughly, what can happen is that that solution is going to, one, leave your fabrics kind of crunchy and stiff to the touch, and two, it can actually act like glue and cause rapid resoiling because it's going to have whatever dirt that's on it in the future stick to it. And so that's where a lot of times having proper chemicals is going to help prevent that rapid resoiling. And that's where we're going to ideally be benefiting from the conserver aspect of this cleaning solution, and that whatever solution is left behind is going to help prevent that rapid resoiling. After we extracted, and I did do a thorough extraction, but it wasn't 100% like clear solution afterwards because there was so much soiling, and I didn't want these seats to take hours upon hours to dry out. What little solution we had left behind, it was soft to the touch. It wasn't stiff. So that was very refreshing to see from a solution like this that normally in my experience, I would have had stiff fabric. For our plastics, we're going to be using their Green Star Universal Cleaner. We're going to use this at a 1:10 dilution ratio. What's nice, the Meguiar's bottles show you the lines once you get to the ridges. That's 10:1. So we have the dry pod air dryer in the back to try to, 1, accelerate dry time, 2, help identify any sort of potential wicking issues that we might have, and 3, get the customer back to their vehicle faster. If you don't have something like this in your arsenal, I'm going to put the link for it down below. I highly recommend that you guys have one. Compact, powerful. You can do 1 or 2 at a time, do the front and back, but this has been a game changer for interiors for me. Really recommend you guys have something similar to it, if not that unit. You can see we're working in direct sunlight. I intentionally wanted to test out their Green Star on hotter plastic surfaces. Sometimes if you use too strong of a cleaner, I know that I've seen it on the past in different forums, something like even a super clean, if you use it on hot plastic, sometimes it can leave kind of a white chalky residue behind and actually damage the plastics. It's too harsh of a cleaner. It can remove sometimes the plastic coating that's on plastics. And so it did a really nice job of deep cleaning our plastics without damaging it. And I just had to include this, but my neighbor, to thank me for doing her Jeep this weekend, came over and gave me an award, and it was for the best car care video. It's totally official. I'm going to put it up on my wall. It was so sweet and thoughtful for her to do that for me. I'm so thankful to have such wonderful neighbors that support me in my business and my channel. And so that was a wonderful surprise to have. I'm going to keep that from this day forward. Alright, we are all done with the interior for our Civic. Let's take a look how our Pol Star and Green Star did on this interior. I have to be honest with you, I was extremely surprised with Pol Star. I've done these seats before, and this vehicle was actually previously smoked in, and so I knew that I was going to be hitting nicotine as well as whatever was in these seats. And you could see that I was battling all of the kind of nicotine staining on the seat belts and the tricks that I used, but I didn't have any severe wicking with Pol Star. Plastics did great. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm working in direct sunlight. It's about 75 degrees out, but this is actually hot to the touch. Green Star, there was no damage to the plastics, even when we sprayed it directly onto the plastic. Now, I didn't walk away from it, but you could see it didn't do any sort of damage to our plastics. This back seat, as soon as I hit it with water, it like started to just bleed brown, and it looks night and day transformed. Our seatbelts cleaned up nicely. They're not 100%. Seatbelts are extremely difficult to get to almost perfect, but you can see everything looks night and day. When it comes to chemicals, I'm very picky, and I will be 100% honest with you. I would use these again, especially for this type of fabric, but really for any fabric. I think it would do a fantastic job. I actually have a Kia Soul coming up that has smoke damage, that has leather with alcantara inserts. I think that's going to be a great product to use for seats like that. But I am very, very impressed with both of these products. It's really the first time that I've done like a dedicated vehicle and worked with them. I've had them on my shelf for quite some time. So for those of you that are looking for an affordable, readily available cleaner for upholstery, I even used it on my carpets, which were really bad. And I went heavy on my solution, knowing that that was really how I was going to combat all of this deep staining and avoid wicking. And it did a great job. So I'm going to put a link for everything that I used in this video down below, from the pump sprayer to the chemicals, even the equipment that I used. This is my mighty heated extractor, rigid vacuum, the dry pod, fantastic for quickly drying seats. They are actually dry to the touch, so the customer can take it home. Even my Mickey's 37 variable car dryer, I use that to blow out all of my nooks and crannies and give me detail clean results. So hopefully this product review and demonstration can give some of you guys some insight. But I am very, very impressed with both of these products and will be continuing to work with them in the future. So there you go, Pol Star, Green Star. And yes, those were my knees. It was a long day, but we are done. Thanks to these two products, we have exceptional results. All right, guys, we're going to keep moving. That's it for today's detail, but we will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day.